Hey guys, welcome back to Angela, and as you guys can see by the topic, I am going to talk about anger. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about anger, the anger that the empath feels, the rage, should I say, the rage. You know how the narcissist has, their narcissistic rage, but their rage really doesn't make sense because they're the ones really, creating chaos, and a lot of times they're getting caught in lies and being deceitful, and they rage at you, right? Or when you try to explain to a narcissist what they're doing wrong, what they're doing to cross your boundaries, right? And now they're raging at you. Or because, we do live in a society where now people, they're not just trolls on the internet, they're trolls in real life, and I'm going to talk about the gang stalking like I have been for the last couple of years. But the gang stalking is to another level, where people just blurt out things. They feel like they can say what they want. Pretty much living in their own world. Let me get some water. Sorry. I don't want to cut the video. But yeah, people, will rage at you after they've said something super disrespectful. And they acted like you weren't even there. You could have been going on a run to the store or something, right? You're probably already, set in from work. You're probably in some comfortable clothes or something. And someone might say something about your outfit, right? Because they're expecting you to be super dressed up or something, right? Just like I think a couple of years ago or so, they had this whole thing where you're not supposed to wear a bonnet, or if that's how it's called, in public, right? That's what it kind of reminds me of, how people just tell people what they should do, what they should wear, how they should look, right? If you're not up to certain people's standards, they talk about you, if they don't understand the concept that everyone is going to die and everyone's going to get older, and they don't understand that. So they say things, right, expecting you to be perfect, or expect you to also be the bigger person. Like, you're supposed to be more mature, so you're not supposed to say anything to me because you're supposed to be more mature, right? So just like a parent would have, that responsibility of teaching or guiding someone, there's that lack of respect that a lot of the youth have for their elders. So once upon a time, there was, respect for your elders. Now you'll see that, you'll have people that are supposed to be guiding the youth who are using the youth, who are manipulating the youth, who are even taking the youth, down the wrong path. And some people are aware of it, some aren't aware of it. And, so there's a lot of disrespect. So you'll experience gang stalking from the younger generation. And, as you get older, you tend to stay away from certain crowds and certain type of people, and people around your age group, because a lot of times it took you to go through certain things to where you already know, I can't be around certain things because I'm maturing, I'm growing up, right? So you'll see that a lot of narcissists, they like to intertwine, and they like to use people, manipulate, and a lot of times, they like to almost disguise it as staying young, right? But there still has to be a balance of growing up. And what a lot of narcissists that I've came across is that It's like you're dealing with adults, but in children's bodies. And I say this because at some point, the narcissist, they come to this conclusion that we're not going to live forever, you know? And the empath comes to that understanding too, right? So a part of the empath's anger is that they feel like someone wasted their time. They feel like, hey, I could have died any time being with this person, and that's all my life would have been. And then they also realize that they spent so much time healing, so this person robs you of your time. So what sets you into rage is the fact that you were betrayed over and over again, and not only that, but you were gaslit and abuse was taken out on you. Gangstalking, the empath will have a lot of anger. And the difference between the empath and the narcissist, right? Because the narcissist rages. They're raging because they don't want you to fight back. They want you to basically take the L for whatever they've done. They feel like I can scam someone, and hey, when that person wakes up, they just need to keep it moving. And that's just, or else I'm going to feel like fighting back because they feel like they taught you a lesson. They feel like don't get anyone involved. This is why they, will keep you away from people and ruin relationships for you. But what I really wanted to get down to the nitty gritty about the empath's rage, but I had to elaborate about these things a little bit, is that, see, when the empath rages, you rage because you're very overprotective over the people you care about, the people that have been there for you, who they might not be perfect, but they got your back, right? So you realize you'll start having the type of rage that you might have not had prior to being with the narcissist. So one thing I know about the narcissist is that they know you got that rage deep down inside of you. This is why a lot of times they do what they do, because they feel like you're capable of doing the same things. It's just that you don't have the type of rage they have, and a lot of times the rage they have is based off of their doings, right? So what I started to notice is that because I had never been around someone that rages that way, where they're cursing and they don't stop, what I realized is that I never felt that type of rage. So what the empath does is that emotions are like a sponge. So when people now get angry with you, you could actually feel the anger, and it'll make you angry, right? Their frequency will make you feel how they feel. Meaning that if they feel, rage, you could feel their rage. You could feel what they're feeling, but as an empath, you have to be conscious of it to understand it might be coming from a place of even pain, right? But when you go through that type of abuse where someone is gaslighting you and then they're taking out their rage on you, and then they leave you, right? They leave you with that rage, right? And that rage just starts growing. They want you to be miserable. They want you to basically hate being alone, hate being single. But eventually, right? Eventually you have to forgive in order to find peace. And it's not that you forget, and it might still piss you off. You know what I'm saying? But it's not to the point where you want to seek revenge like they do, right? They seek revenge on you almost in a way that it's so diabolical, it's so sick, where it's like you would think that you're the one who has deceived them, right? So when they rage at you, all those times they raged at you and you cried and you walked away and you wondered why, and you've had sleepless nights and you stressed yourself out, all those things, and then they leave you with rage. You wish they get their karma. You're like, I hope, they're doing bad, or you see them do good, and you grow with rage. And a lot of times when you're growing with rage, right, you don't have no one to direct that rage to. So you got to also think about all those people who are empaths who are misdirecting their rage at different people. Then you got to think about the narcissists when they don't have fuel and they're on a low of supply, low of energy, period. Right? They might have a supply but they're low on energy. And now they're taking their rage on people too. Just because you see them be nice when you're around sometimes to strangers, and they give them a jump on their car, change their tire, that doesn't mean that that's how the narcissist behaves. A lot of times they're behaving that way because they got you, because they got supply, and that's how they seek new supply, because they're on a high, because you're giving them that supply. You're giving them energy to even get to the next level, to get to the next supply, right? But a lot of times these people are raging lunatics, and then like I said, I've experienced people who go through abuse and then they're raging too, and then now they're making up lies and doing things, and they're moving just like the narcissist. So that lets you see that your rage can impact others' energies. And not only that, it impacts your own energy. A lot of times you'll get that karma and you shouldn't have raged. So what I've realized, is that narcissists leave you with rage. And what me personally, what I do is I tend to watch the people I'm around. If I know there's someone around that their energy is just not, and most of the time, most people's energies are bad, but there's some people, right? They're innocent. You could tell they have innocent souls, or they haven't went through certain things. And you don't prey on those type of people, but you see those people and you're like, oh, the narcissist, that's the perfect supply, but not everyone is as dumb as you think, right? Because, see, the narcissist thinks that because you have empathy, you're dumb, you're unintelligent. What makes the narcissist verify that you're unintelligent is when you argue with them, when you rage at them. Because what you'll see is that they'll be calm. They'll be calm as a whistle. And what I realized is that when I was calm, they would get even more mad. It's like when you see the fight coming and you don't say anything, now they're yelling. And even though they're yelling, you know what they do? I remember the narcissist family member, his mother was like, stop yelling. And he's like, oh, it wasn't me, it was her. She's starting stuff with me. And I'm like, he's acting like a child. And, and in my mind, I'm still quiet, right? I'm still quiet. And the more he was raging, and because people knew it was him who was raging, it pissed him off and he just flipped out. And somehow people came to his rescue because they just wanted to calm him down. A lot of times you'll feel like you're annoying, like there's something wrong with you, right? Like with me, I don't even like talking. I don't like hearing my voice. But it got to that point where I didn't even want to talk, and they would rage. And then sometimes I even jumped because I'm like, they're yelling so loud and I'm not saying anything. They're like, why are you jumping? Why are you acting like I'm going to hit you? Right? That rage that they're taking out. So when they leave you with those type of feelings and emotions, and you don't have, like I said, anywhere to direct it. But it's when you feel the most hurt, the most, just in pain, that it's like they're calm, right? So another thing you're going to realize is that because you're an empath, when you figure out that these people have been playing a game with you, and before people did things to you and you let it go, or you waited till you got home, eventually you process things and you're like, I'm gonna let it go, right? A lot of times you live in that era of I'm let it go. When you deal with these people enough, when you've seen the eyes, the soulless spirit of these people and how low they can go to destroy your life, and you run across other narcissists who play with you, make jokes, They assume things about you before they even get to you. They're like, oh, I know you're not going to tip me. Oh, I know you're not going to. They start bringing the statistics and the things that they believe and the things that they hear on the internet and other people's opinions, assumptions, targeting certain people. And then you're watching the behaviors play out. You already know how they're thinking based on how they're moving and their eyes and their energy. And it'll make you want to rage, but that's what they want. And they do it all the time to people that they start to say, everyone is like that. But a lot of times it's them who they're thinking to themselves that they're not saying anything, right? They've already made an assumption of you. You know that they've made it. You can see their whole demeanor, the way they're looking at people, the way they're looking at you, the way there's this disconnection where you could just feel it, or they're even talking to you in a voice where it's very demeaning, because to them it's like they might even be afraid of you. So they're like, oh, I gotta act like I'm not afraid of you. So you feel their energy. You're feeling the whole shit, right? And then they might say something, you might respond, and that triggers this response in them to do what they were initially thinking of you in the first place. And now you're perceived, because you reacted. A lot of times, you should not react to people, to their stereotypes, to things like that. You shouldn't react. But a lot of times, especially when you're the black sheep of society, it happens way too often, more than certain people actually even understand that that's why you react. So when you react, these people are basically saying, hey, you reacted, I'm gonna put you on this category, even though they've caught you in one of those days where you said, I don't feel good, please, I don't want no one messing with me. And that's when that energy is going to hit you. It's going to say, oh, you don't want no one messing with you? Okay. And that energy is going to use someone, is going to jump into someone to get you to rage. And when you rage, you see that they're satisfied because they feel like, I won, right? They're like, I won, but it was a battle every single day. And the battle, the odds were against you from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? The odds, you were outnumbered already. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's experiencing gang stalking. And it's just getting worse with the times, with the way society even thinks, the way things keep being brought up, the way people keep targeting one another. So a lot of times, empaths end up raging and the narcissist is actually calm. See, the narcissist, they rage too, right? They have moments where they're raging, but when the narcissist isn't raging and they're on a high and they feel good about themselves, they are going to instigate because they're going to get their energy through people, through their traumas, through gaining their trust. And they're going to instigate, and that's going to give them their fuel. So while everyone is raging, they're going to be calm. They're going to instigate. They're going to be picking sides. They might even jump in. Everything they feel about people, their innermost hate for certain people, it comes out because they feel like everything is going good for me right now. I'm getting what I want. I'm taking from people. I'm doing illegal things. I'm manipulating people. I'm getting my way. I'm doing everything. I'm all about myself. I'm all about my family, right? They're on a high. So when they're on a high and they feel like they're on a pedestal, when the narcissist feels like they're on a pedestal, they're going to make you react while they're calm. Right? This is where they're going to tell you how they feel about you. They're going to tell you how they feel about your upbringing. They're going to talk about your parents. They're going to talk about, what they think you got, what they think you don't got. That's where they're going to show you what they've been thinking the whole time. And this is the thing. Someone who doesn't have empathy, they don't have those type of emotions, they're not going to rage at you. You're going to end up wanting to rage at them because they're going to play mind games with you. So to the narcissist, it's like, oh, you're raging at me. Oh, you're filled with lots of emotions. Oh, I'm going to say this. It's going to really tick you off. Oh, I'm going to deny that I did this. It's really going to piss you off. I'm going to lie on you. It's really going to... They're not going to stop with their BS because you're going to get pissed off because you're filled with emotions. You have emotions of rage. And all they're going to do is they're going to be calm. And eventually when you yell or you rage or you say something to defend yourself, now you're going to get the rage from them, but it's going to be seen as them defending themselves, So because they don't feel emotions, they don't feel, remorse for the things that they're doing to you. They're going to keep saying things, keep as long as you're arguing with them, you care. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you just want to have the last say, the last word. Sometimes you want them to know how you feel. You feel like you should explain yourself. You feel like they're using other people and you feel like they're talking to the people close to you. You feel like you got to explain yourself to the people that they're talking to. You have to explain. But all that's doing, it's pissing you off. It's building anger in you. And guess what? The narcissists don't feel shit. They're laughing. They think it's a joke. They're like, I'm never gonna give you what you want. I'm never gonna tell the truth. I'm never gonna give you validation. So all it's doing is stressing you out. It's pissing you off. You're going into rage. And you're going into rage because you care. You have feelings. So when you love someone, when you care about people, you're all in. But when you're pissed, when you finally went there and you're mad, right? It's not going to be resolved with this person. You have to you have to let the anger go through you because they're not going to try to make you feel better. See, the narcissist knows that. The narcissist has this, thing about themselves where they're like, oh, you want me to make you feel good, huh? You want me to give you closure. I'm not going to give you that. I'm not going to give you that. I'm going to keep going because to them, it's a game. It doesn't stop. It's like I could keep going. I can keep coming back in your life and keep playing with you, keep selling you dreams. I already made up my mind, but I'll keep selling you dreams. I'll tell you I love you. I'll tell you these things. I'll keep coming back. I'll disappear when I want. If you really love me, allow me to do whatever I want to do, right? They're cornering you into a point of submission, and it doesn't matter how much you shout, how much you change physically, spiritually, mentally. It doesn't matter to the narcissist, especially when they know you're giving them boundaries or certain choices to make, right? And to them, it's like, I'm just going to continue doing what I've been doing. Oh, now you woke up, you're aware of it. I just got to work harder to get supply, and I'll keep fooling you if that's what you want me to do. So that'll make you rage because there's nothing that you can do about it. And that'll get you in really messed up situations because the narcissists, they're ready for your rage. They're like, I'm already 10 steps ahead of you. If they'll set you up. They'll get like I've said in past videos, they'll get their animals. They got dogs or something. They'll get their dogs to bite you. They'll get their family to jump on you. They'll destroy your things. They'll stalk you. They'll send the new supply. They'll call you, have the new supply call you. They'll do anything to almost kill you. And you're like, how could this person get me to the point where they're cornering me in? They deplete you from so many resources. They deplete you from finances. They deplete you from anyone, that can be someone that you can confine in. They put you in a situation where it doesn't matter. No one can give you any advice based off of the sabotaging and the self-sabotaging that you do to yourself being around these type of people. So because you have empathy, you will rage when you're really hurt, when you feel like someone's trying to kill you off. And the thing is, see, a lot of times the empath will rage and you'll want to get physical or you'll want to do something. The narcissist can rage too in that way where they become violent, right? But when the empath has had enough, it's a very dangerous sight to be around, because the empath feels almost like they'll get you to a point where you almost feel like nothing in life matters. You feel like you don't matter. You almost feel like going all out, and you can rage, you can destroy the narcissist things, but you also know that you also learn that being around these people, there's only a limit to your rage, because they will get you back. And a lot of times the way the narcissist gets you back, it's not by raging at you. They might rage for a little bit, right? You might rage and then calm down and then forget about it and forgive them, cry, go to bed, whatever. But when a narcissist rages, they're premeditating on you, doing something to you. They're having secret meetings. They're plotting on their next move. They're gathering people to be on their side. They're gathering people that's in your corner. They're putting people in a position where they're telling others, don't pick sides. They're saying that you're the hateful person. You're the person that, you're the one that got this attitude that's like, hey, if you're not with me, you're against me, right? Because when these people get you in a position to rage, you can't be around these people, and you feel like, I can't even be around anyone that's connected to you, right? Because it's just, there's always going to be a reason or something that's going to make me feel uncomfortable. So they'll try to get people around you, and sometimes when it's family or a certain marriage or kids involved, it's very difficult, right? Because they'll use the relationship they got with the kids, or they'll use their in-laws or something, and it's almost like a freaking horror movie. It's almost like trying to warn people, about a serial killer or something, and that person is like, everyone is like, no, but look at them, they're so forgiving. You have a lot of hate. You're keeping a lot of stuff from the past. You're holding on to grudges. Look, they're being nice to you. They just gave you something, and it's all fake. So it'll make you rage, and all it'll do is it'll satisfy that person. What's really crazy is that you know this, but you also know if you don't say nothing, no one will know your truth. So in these instances, it definitely can go really left for the empath, because certain empaths aren't even aware of their own strength, of their own anger. And that's what the narcissist preys on the most. So what can happen to an empath is that they can snap. So a lot of times the narcissist's anger is premeditated and the empath's isn't. So your anger is a reaction out of self-defense, and a lot of times will come out when you get defensive. So you have to watch being defensive. They'll get physical with you, and they'll have this thing where they train you to, like, if anything happens, you're supposed to be either ride or die. You're supposed to, hey, we don't call the cops. We don't do things like that. If that's the case, I'm just going to leave. We're just not going to be together, right? So a lot of times if they hit you and they rage, they know they shouldn't have done that. So they'll scare you to the point where they do reverse psychology on you, and now you're basically trying to calm them down, and it's who should be upset. So sometimes your rage will have you take it out on them in in ways where it's kind of like you're exposing them in front of others the way they've done to you, except when they've done it to embarrass you or to tell lies about you. So you'll start doing that because you're taking the rage out on them. And now it's game time to them because they've been waiting for you to fight back. So when you're ready to fight back, they'll disappear so you can cool down. And what that will do is that it will bring you down to a low frequency. And now if you're attacked, you will get defensive, and now they can come back and rescue you, you know, and keep you from projecting that energy onto them. So when the narcissist gets you to think like you're at fault, these people will be beating you down and you're sitting here saying, I love you, I'm sorry, please calm down, right? Like, they'll get caught for lying or deceiving you or stealing or cheating or whatever the case is, right? And you confront them about it, and now they're whooping your ass, and now you're defending yourself. You're afraid they're going to literally, delete you. But a part of you knows, like, they're not going to it's not going to go that far. At least that's what you think. That's what certain people think. Until you get this person, you don't even know how far deep in their rage they are. And that's another thing. You never know the depths of a narcissist's rage. So what you'll do is that you'll try to calm them down because you're afraid, and they know that. They're trying to put fear on you. You right? So they'll do things, they'll throw your things, they'll destroy your things, they'll kick you out the car, they'll push you out the car, moving car. They'll do a lot of things. They'll smack you while you're driving, push you downstairs, push you off the bed. They'll do so many things, and then they'll even play with you. Like, they were joking around when they realized they cut you with the glass by accident, or they'll laugh it off. Come on, it's not that serious. But at the same time, they won't really comfort you. They won't go get you a towel or nothing unless it's really bad and you're probably dying of blood and gushing, and even then they might just drive off. But that's how sinister they are, where you'll start you're calming them down, and then somehow you're apologizing to them, and now they got away with the crime, right? So the moment that they feel like you're on to them and you're not going for them putting their hands on you, you're like, hey, if you do that one more time, because I'm not putting my hands on you, there's no need for that, I'm gonna call the cops. The fact that you even will say something like that to them, guess what? Now they're going to set you up. They're going to think, I'm going to set you up, when they could have just left you alone, right? These people could just leave you alone, but it'll get to that point, or they'll accuse you of doing things that you didn't even do. As a man, they could say you hit them when you didn't even hit them, right? So if these people manage to, try to ruin your life, they're not going to stop. They're like, now they might take money. They might, they might even sue you. They might even put you in a position where now they got their foot on your neck financially, right? They're not thinking how you're going to survive. They're just thinking, gimme, gimme, gimme. Right? And certain narcissists, right, when they're on the hot bench, they're going to flip it on you. They're going to go and make somebody pay for the mistakes that they've done. And that'll make you rage, because by the time that these people are gone, they'll ruin your life, your reputation, your, opportunities. And you almost got to change your life and adjust to your new life. And they'll, go off. So you'll have to live with that rage, and guess what? You won't see or hear from them no more, because they know you will figure them out eventually. So if you see these people, and sometimes, in my case, someone that I'm close to ended up spotting the narcissist, when they got into this new relationship, and they were dodging that person because they knew that person was connected, and they were walking around, didn't want to walk to their car at the ATM. They didn't want to walk to their car, so they went around because clearly the new supply must have been, in their car. So the narcissist, you know, they'll avoid you, and a lot of times they do things to bring anger out of you, but it's amusement to them. So what ends up happening is that, as an empath, you'll try to keep your energy and keep yourself where you're peaceful. But what will happen is that because you have heightened emotions, when people are betraying you or talking down on you or doing things, it'll get you mad from 0 to 100, so that's what the empath has to work on when leaving these people, because see, the narcissists, they rage too, but they don't really care about a lot of things, right? So a lot of times what you will see is that people will be raging and the narcissist will just be calm, because they don't feel emotions like that until you say something to them. So a lot of times, if they can handle the situation without raging at you, they will. If it's a boss or whoever, they're just gonna get you back later. They're monitoring spirits. They're monitoring you. They're trying to study to see if their perception of you is true. And anything that you give them, they'll categorize you. These people will, send other people your way. These people will gossip to other people, and when the word gets back to you, and when you realize that people are making up lies, because a lot of times you don't even give them enough information for them to make any assumptions, but they do. And when things come back to you, if you say something to the messenger, if you say something to the people that are making up things or trying to make you the attraction of the night, right? What do? They get mad. They get mad. I remember going to a gathering for a birthday party, and a friend invited me. It was mutual people that were going to be there. And when I got there, right before I got there, and I was talking to her, I was like, oh, there's going to be people that don't like me there. I guess I'm going to be the main attraction of the night. Like, let me get the attention. Fine. Right? Because that's what narcissists want. They know you're coming. They're going to want attention. You're already prepared for it. So it's like, all right, I'm a show you that no one is afraid of you, right? Because they want to find reasons. They want to do things in order for you to rage. They'll start dancing on you, knowing you don't get along. They'll start, trying to distract people from talking to you. And when it doesn't work, they're mad. They want the people that you're surrounded with, that people that do like you, they want those people not to like you. So they'll start doing things to belittle you, or they almost treat you like, in a way, like they know you, but you know that this person really doesn't know you really well, or doesn't know you at all, really. They don't know nothing about you, just what they've heard, what they've seen. But they'll monitor the people around you. They'll tell people things to tell you, right? There was a lesbian, a dyke. Dyke, is that what I don't know. I don't want LGBT coming from me, but she was a stud. I don't know. Okay, so she was a stud, and me and her, we're chilling, we're talking, just vibes, positive vibes, right? But I know the narcissist is so negative. They don't like to see that. You know why? Because they like to just like when you're in a relationship with them, they like to ruin holidays or events or your birthday and things like that. When you get around these people, you should already know you're going into a scene, a movie scene. You should already know you're going into a movie scene. And when they see that you're paying attention to them, it makes them uncomfortable. They even pretend to be nice to you, nice with you, and then while they're being nice with you, they'll do something, or they'll talk to you, and then when you respond, they'll ignore you. They'll do weird things, and when you're like, okay, this person's acting weird, I don't want nothing to do with them, they'll do something worse. They'll drop a drink on you. They'll do something. They'll say a smart remark. Their whole thing is to get people going, to get people talking, to get people laughing, to get people to belittle you. They want to see you they want you in rage a lot of times because they're trying to show people how tough they really are, right? But you see it as a threat, but at the same time, you don't really see them as a threat because you know, hey, this person's not going to cause me any harm. It's just that they have a big mouth, their eyes are twirling, they're looking like they're having a seizure, their energy is giving you, possessed, right? So, they're not really a threat to you, but they are a threat to you, meaning that you can't just befriend this person, because that's what happens a lot of times. These people will befriend you, right? And then you'll say, oh, when I met this person, I didn't even really like them. Just like when sometimes you meet the narcissist, you didn't really like them at first. They gave you red flags, you backed off, but what do? They force themselves on you. That's what narcissists do. That's what they're known for. Why? Because of the control. As long as they can get in your emotions, they control you. So when you're going through emotions, they know they have a hold on you, right? When you show these people, oh, I'm not bothered by what you say, the people that you're trying to have turn on me, they know my character. They know me very well. They also know what I'm capable of. Don't think because I'm quiet and I'm not reacting the way you want me to, because that's how much you don't mean nothing to me. Don't think because I'm not reacting, I'm not capable of going there or going to that level, right? Because you know all about rage. You done had the narcissist call you all kinds of names. And I think that's what also makes you strong from when you're dealing with a narcissist who rages at you. Because, see, I was really hurt. When I was being called names, I would cry, and they would say, stop crying, stop acting like a little girl crying. I was just mad. I was just angry. I'm like, why would you call me those things? Even though you're angry, I was in shock. That lets you know how innocent my mind was, that I was in shock that someone would talk to me that way, right? It's like when you're young and you get into fights and, girls call each other the B word or whatever the case is, you feel like, okay, those are moments where you're mad, you're defending yourself, you're being deceived by bullies, but you're not accustomed to a man putting his hands on you. You're not accustomed. You're not used to seeing that behavior. You're not used to experiencing it. The people in your life don't do it, right? Your family doesn't do it. So certain behaviors aren't normal to you. When people rage, certain shit will scare the living crap out of you, and you're like, I gotta get out this car. I gotta run for my life, right? Especially when you're young and you're put in those situations when you're, because it happens to a lot of young girls where they're around partying or meeting people online or meeting, people around the way, and then you're hanging out with them. But when that other side of them comes out, the real them, see, the narcissist has this thing, right, where when they rage, they feel like that's not the real them, right? And it is the real them. And we don't understand that rage that the narcissist feels until we go through that rage where we're like, oh shit, we got effed over really bad. Why the hell was I apologizing and begging for this person and waiting around for months or years wishing they would change? And you're like, okay, I get it, I see it for what it is, right? And now there's anger there. You wish they get their fucking karma, excuse my language. But that's how you feel. You're like, I hope this gets his karma. Him, her, the whole family, everybody that's done me wrong, right? You get that rage, right? That's that same rage that the narcissist felt every time they lashed out at you. The difference is that you got reasons why you rage, right? They got their reasons too, but you ain't got nothing to do with it. You don't have nothing to do with it. So when you start feeling that rage, that anger, it hurts, it stings, but it's also a good thing, right? And let me tell you why it's a good thing. Because all those times that I cried, called me names, devalued me, whatever, right? It hurt me. It literally killed me. But after I was killed and I was reborn, and I saw how people treated one another and how people were, and when people play you, they cheat on you, they do things to you, they have this personality about them. They're that ego where it's like they can't be bruised, right? Like, you can't bruise me. I don't have emotions. They tell you I don't got emotions, right? But the moment they get caught up in something, that there's that rage. So they do got emotions, not the kind that you got, but it's more of rage. It's more of rage. So they're telling you, oh, that's not who I am. I'm gonna go to the next person, or I'm gonna go around other people and treat them well. But that rage, and the reason you've treated others wrong because of that rage, and they didn't have nothing to do with it, and you sold other people out so that they can feel, so that hurt people can hurt people, right? So that they can feel how you feel. That lets me know that no matter how arrogant you behave, that rage takes over you. And the reason you need to control everyone around you is because you want to control the rage. You want to make sure everything is done. You're able to get away with things that you shouldn't get away with, right? And that's also part of the rage, not having that control, not being able to control the things that you want to control. Controlling, being angry and possessive about another person, and then once you hold that possession in your hand, raging because you should have never given it to them, right? So it's like you can't do good, you can't do wrong, you can't do nothing to satisfy a person like that, right? So they go off, right? They're supposed to be happy with other people in their lives, whatever. That's the illusion they want to give you, the happily ever after, right? Happily ever after. It's going to work out with the next person, or, we don't need you in the family, right? They go through their own things in their families, and in their little groups and cults. They go through their own things that you don't have no clue about, and because they feel like you don't know what I'm going through, even though they don't want to tell you what they're going through. You're not forcing anyone to be there, or to to want to share anything with you. You're not begging anyone. All you're asking for is respect, right? But when they're going through things and you're calling out bad behavior because you're seeing that they're reacting out of how they're in pain, they're making up lies or doing things. And when you call them out, what you will notice is that the enablers will basically, for example, my aunt, I was sharing my plans with her, and I'm thinking, because she all of a sudden has taken an interest into talking to me more. But what I realized, because I'm really close to my grandmother, what I realized is that she wanted me to get close to her so that I won't communicate with her as to my grandmother, because they were scheming when it comes to money and inheritances. They were scheming, which I had nothing to do with it. But these people are so troubled in their minds, right, by the evil shit that they do to people, that they're snapping at people. They're out of control, right? Once you go through that rage and you understand what these people have done to you and how they somehow want to be the victim later on, or or when they want to change, they want to use empaths. They know who to target to help them change every single time. So a part of them is still manipulating, even though they're manipulating to better themselves. And it's like you're manipulating to better yourself because you never thought you were great in the first place. So you deceived people into thinking you were great when you weren't spectacular, right? You want people to believe that, after you've hurt and deceived them, you want them to believe that it got something to do with somebody else or another supply or another person. But a lot of times, the reasons that they do these things, sometimes you don't even know the reason, but they know the reason. Sometimes the reason that they're giving you, or the what they want you to see, is not even really the reason. It's because there's other secrets, other lies that they can't no longer cover up. So instead of them being apologetic, they'll rage. You know why? Because they don't take accountability. So you put your fears on others. You get mad at people who have helped you. You've used the things that they've helped you to elevate yourself, to use to other people to portray another image of you wanting to evolve, right? But we all know that part of evolving is also knowing that in this life, all you're going to experience is sacrifice. So who are you going to make sacrifices for? Just yourself? So if you're only going to make sacrifices for yourself, then you shouldn't try to use anyone to help you. But you need people, obviously. So that same need of needing people is what makes the narcissist rage, right? So then when you don't have nobody there for you, you're almost like, this person is crazy because they want people to be there for them, but I'm going through everything that I've went through this far on my own. So that alone makes you rage because you got nobody to talk to. You don't got no one to defend yourself with. Telling people the truth. Some people don't even want to hear your truth. Some people, they don't even care about the truth. They're just so caught up with disrespecting you because they don't respect you. They don't respect you because they know you're wise enough to see what's going on, that you can't no longer be manipulated, and they'll be nicer to other people because it could be used as a tool for them. And you will be deceived thinking, oh, wow, they're treating this person better, they're this coworker better, this sibling better, right? And you'll think because you want certain things that certain things that you would appreciate, you'll notice that people are aware that you appreciate these things. So the harder they make it for you, because in their reality, the things that you will do anything for, they don't appreciate, they don't care about it. It's normal to them. And you also understand because it was normal to you at one point too. So you also realize certain people are living in certain realities where they haven't completely woken up to narcissist abuse. They have to go through life. They got to live more. They got to go through more experiences. They got to see things happening and falling apart in front of them for them to finally see. So when you're able to see these things, you will be filled with anxiety, you will be filled with depression, you will feel like you got this person like the narcissist being very delusional, and to you, you're living in a whole nother reality where it's basically survival, right? You don't even think about your happiness or any of those things. Some people do, but when you've been hurt so much where you have so much anger, certain things just lose meaning. Certain things don't excite you. Certain things even trigger you. Certain things trigger you, so you find things to do to find peace with yourself, because you realize, hey, I can't control people, what they've done. At some point, right, you take accountability, right? So part of grieving, as many of you guys know, there's like 5 stages of healing, of grieving: denial, right? Anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Denial, you don't know if these people are a narcissist. You don't know if they're telling the truth. You don't know if maybe you're tripping out, maybe you're crazy, maybe you don't think straight, maybe you took something wrong, right? You took things the wrong way. Maybe you're in denial about everything. You're in denial about yourself, your own choices. You're in denial about how bad shit has even gotten. You're like, oh, it's going to be okay. It's going to get better from here. It's okay. I'll go do this tomorrow. It's okay. You'll just be in denial. And eventually you know, hey, something's wrong here. What the narcissist did, they did a number on me, right? They wanted me to feel that rage that they feel. And, what's messed up about the rage, right, is because there was different cycles where they kept doing this over. They had you up and down for so long, like a yo-yo, for months, for years, right? Those of us who have done decades, where even when you leave, you're mentally not there, right? You're mentally not all the way there. There's moments where it's like you're going through that stress, where people are kind of taking advantage because they know you're stressed. You need someone to talk to. You might share things. People might exploit it. People might use these things against you. People might use these things to get closer to you and then feel like you owe them the world, right? And you'll see that they'll start taking more. It's like they'll give you an illusion of what a friendship is supposed to do, a friendship's supposed to be, which is being there for one another, right? But you'll see that they'll start exploiting it because they'll expect more from you, and you start to feel like, why you couldn't ask that person, like you just did something for this person not that long ago. So you start to see, certain people just, it's more convenient for them, to get closer to people, and they think people are all stupid, right? Because that's how the narcissist views people. When you're going through that, eventually you'll be in rage, right? You'll be like, oh, I got to be careful who I'm nice to, who I'm giving to, you got to be more careful with people's motives, people's questions, people's disrespect, right? But for a while, you might have been, in denial about it, right? People might have even told you, hey, people are getting off on you speaking about this because they're going to get something from it, or it's going to make them look good, or people might even warn you, but you might feel like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. This person has been really, really nice. You might be in denial about your circumstances, how the narcissist has left you, the things that they've destroyed. You can't really this is the thing, you can't really sit back and like drown in those things, right? Because you already went through them. You can't really drown in those things, because when you were going through those crazy situations, you were drowning then. So to you, you're a survivor, right? That's why we call ourselves survivors, because we're like, damn, I could have died, I could have tapped out, I could have hurt somebody, because they had you that out of your mind. You were in denial about who they were, what they were to you, the things that they were doing, the disrespect. You were in denial that this person wanted to hurt you, even when they were on a verge where it seemed like they were ready to snap, right? That narcissistic rage. You're there pleading with them, talking about I love you, and this person is ready to just end you. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're ready to just end you, and you're still like, baby, give me a hug, give me a kiss, please stop. Why are you acting like this, right? And they're like literally trying to like assassinate you, right? And then assassinate your character while they're doing it. And there's this, you're dissociated almost from reality. And when you're dissociated from reality, you'll be in denial about a lot of things. People will gaslight you. People will, when the narcissist has you in denial like that, you'll start being in denial about a lot of things, meaning that people will say things to you and your intuition will start to tell you this is happening in front of you. This person's lying. Your intuition will kick in and you'll still be in denial, like, nah, why would I think badly of someone and they haven't done anything to me? You're not using your intuition. You're not living in yourself, in your true nature, in your true self. Meaning that if you're in that type of denial about what's going on, when you do finally are revealed with anything, you will start to bargain, right? You will get angry, right? You'll get angry once things are exposed, revealed to you. You'll experience anger, and once you experience that anger, you don't give a damn about right or wrong. You're like, this person's been trying to hurt me this whole time, and now they're doing it again, and I'm seeing it, and I'm looking at them in their eyes, and I'm showing them I know I'm wide awake, right? And that anger just, it takes over, right? And you'll find yourself doing stuff. I found myself doing stuff, retaliating, throwing stuff at the narcissist. Now I'm calling him all types of B's and hoes. So what ends up happening next is that now you start to bargain. You start to tell the narcissist what you want. You already know that's not what they're going to give you. You've seen enough to know who they are. You know what I'm saying? You know the real them. So the narcissist is almost kind of like baffled, like, you know the real me. Why would you try to make me bargain when you know the real me? There's no point on me love bombing and lying, because now you're bargaining. You're telling me what you want. You're telling me that all the things I lied about, I got to do them now. Like, there's no more playing around, right? There's no more us being in fairy tale world, right? So they want to go, so you're bargaining with this person. So what will happen is that they'll bargain with you, but they know that you're close to healing, because they know you're healing while you're with them, because they're like, oh, now you get it, and it's going to be painful. They already know how messed up they're going to have you, and the abuse will intensify to keep you down while they're looking for a newer, younger, even supply, right? And then they have this thing, narcissists have a thing where when things don't play out, they start bashing their exes. They start getting into narcissistic rage. You just don't see it because you're not around them. But now they're enraged because the type of supplies a lot of times that they want, that they even leave you for, a lot of times these people are using them. A lot of times the narcissist thinks so highly of themselves because of maybe how they look, or maybe what they have, or materialistic things. But they become so delusional where they're more worried about what they want, even if what they want isn't beneficial for them, meaning that they'll go get a fancy car, right, that they can't afford, but as long as they can say, hey, I drove this car, I'm okay with that. And then when they don't have that car, they're like, I should have kept my old car. It was a bucket, but it ran really good, right? So they'll go through rage, but it's not because they care about what they've done to people. So once you stop bargaining with these people, you'll realize there's no use on me bargaining. You'll almost feel like you won, you defeated me. What more do you want from me? You killed everything around me. You'll tell them, hey, you did this, you stopped me from doing this. You said that people did this to you, but you did this to me too, and you did it worse. Or you got people around and I don't. So how am I supposed to get through this? And it's almost like they know how hard it's going to be, because to them it's like they're enraged because they didn't get what they wanted. So they're like, oh, so now you know how I feel. Almost kind of like very nonchalant, like, oh, look, I couldn't afford to get that car. Now you know how I feel. And it's like, but you left me with no car. You crashed my car. That's what you did. You came in my life and crashed my life. You know what I'm saying? So that's when now they're calling you names. Now you won't hear from them. You might hear from them for them just, them harassing you. Like the narcissist would hit me up, sending me pictures of like the new supply, naked and things like that. Like just showing me like, oh, here she is in a thong, and you know what I'm saying. And with him, when it came to like us being intimate, he had certain particular things that he would be like, you have to wear this, right? So he was like showing me, right, multiple supplies. He's basically showing me, oh, this is what I do to everyone. This is, I get them to do what I want. I get them to dress how I want. Like, you're just another number. And you're baffled, right? Because you're with this person, at least in my case, you're with these people over a decade. You kind of grew up together, you know what I'm saying? And you just don't know that type of evil exists, that someone will rage because of what they're going through and they'll put it on you, until you start experiencing that type of betrayal where it was so low, right? Sending nudes, doing these things, told you guys I miscarried and my baby died. So imagine how vulnerable, I'm strong now, but imagine how vulnerable I was, the pain I went through, all the hours I was at the hospital, coming home, just feeling empty, my freaking boobs squirting milk, just feeling like I died. You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally felt like I died, and here's this person sending me pictures, and a part of me was like, I should kill him, right? Like, the thought ran across my, this isn't something that's like not normal. This is happening every day, right? So when these type of cases happen where people are going through things where they snap, you don't really know if it's the victim or the narcissist. I've watched even shows where, where you're watching, like forensic files and things like that, where I'm like peeping the way people are talking, and I'm like, nah, you drove that person to do it. And then the way you're speaking about it, it's almost like there's something you're not saying. Like, why you say, oh, this person, she was a nice wife, she cooked for her kids, family person, and then next thing you know, she was on drugs and start acting crazy. I've seen a lot of narcissists who do this to people, where they'll drink with you, they'll get you high, and then next thing you know, the person's a crackhead, or that the narcissist is still supplying them, and they're doing it just so they could take the children away and call them crazy. So imagine the type of anger that empaths go through, and then these people, these narcissists, when they want to change their life, what's crazy, they can go to church, become pastors, And then they're judging people. Oh, I was a sinner. I was this. I was that. Right? But the people that they hurt, that they left behind, they're not reaping the benefits of the narcissist fruits that they're getting. And then you'll hear a crazy story. Oh, this pastor, this priest, someone went and did something to him, and he was loved in the community. He helped so many people, and nobody's telling you, okay, but why did they do it? You want to know the backstory, and don't nobody want to tell you the backstory. So you got a lot of people that are in rage because of the narcissist, the things that they've done, and how the narcissist tries to benefit from the pain and your experiences and then go write it in a fucking song. You know what I'm saying? Like, they know so much about manipulating and preying on people, and you know, the fact that it's like they want to throw the first punch like a bully so that you could be afraid, you know, because then that's going to give them control. So they don't like it happening to them, but they're very calculating about doing it to others, right? Because their rage tells them, screw everybody, they're beneath me. That's what their rage is telling them. Who cares if I do that to them? They'll get back up. And if they don't, who cares? I want to see them. I hope they suffer. And you almost can't believe it, because you would think that you did something to them. The things that they've done to you, you would think that these things are the things that, you know, you did to them. So when the empath is in rage, we are no joke. When we are pissed the F off, we don't play with nobody, and people will start to look at you like you're crazy. But you already know that first of all, animals don't kill to kill. They kill to survive. For the most part, guess what? All these animals, they're running in their little packs, right? With animals that look just like them. They're running in little packs. But they, for the most part, respect one another. And guess what? They're not going to play with their food. If a cat goes and scratches a bird, it's not trying to play with the bird. It really wants to kill it. It's not playing. It really wants to kill you. It really wants to eat you. It's not a joke. It's not a game. You know what I'm saying? So when a narcissist is in rage and they flip out on you knowing they did something, that's a whole animal putting his hands on you. That's a whole animal attacking you with their words, barking at you. That's a whole animal right there. That's how you got to look at them. Like, they're not even a human being. They don't even care. That it's not like you're going back and forth with them to make them more mad, right? Because see, if you go back and forth with them getting mad, they're going to do something way crazier, wilder than you, right? They're going to try to top you. And then both of you guys will just end up in jail, right? But when you're not even coming at them like that, like how other people might argue with them, you're not even arguing with them. You're a lot of times you're crying. A lot of times you got nothing but love for them. You're trying to calm them down. You're always there to wipe their tears when they need it. Yet the person closest to them, they'll spit at you, they'll slap you, they'll pull your hair, they'll say nasty things to you. And guess what? A predator don't play with his food. So what that person is showing you is that they're a predator, and they're not gonna stop. Because guess what? Once a cat starts attacking a bird, it's not gonna stop until it gets it. It might even stand around, walking around the tree like, I'm going to get you. I'm going to figure out how to get you. Watch. Next time you come down here, I'm going to get you. That's how human beings function too. So when people throw, right, remarks at you, strangers, the narcissist, what happens is that after you can handle people barking, right? You're like, oh, I've seen a lot of fucking narcissist dogs barking. I've seen it, right? I done barked back at them a couple times too. but I already know it's not gonna get me nowhere. And if I say what I say and leave you there looking dumb, I know you're gonna be mad and you're gonna be thinking about how to get me back later. And then I'm gonna have to keep watching my back. So I know, hey, I can't bark at a dog. I can't bark at an animal. I can't bark at a bear that wants to hunt me down, that's looking for a reason to hunt me down. Because a lot of these people, they're just looking for a reason. People at jobs, customers, people are just looking for reasons. A lot of people you'll try to respect because of their situation. You could put yourself in their situation and you know how you would want to be treated. But then they assume things about you that aren't true. Dang, you hear my background, you guys? They'll say things that, you know, they'll say things that to you might be disrespectful. And in their minds, it's not disrespectful. And in your mind, you were trying to spare them. So you feel like you attacked me. I tried to spare you. I didn't say nothing. You think I'm stupid. And now, guess what? All the rage of every narcissist that has played with you, that rage will come out. And then you'll see it, right? You'll see it. And you also see how a lot of people can seem like narcissists, and they'll have that same rage, but it's pain, right? It's loneliness. It's so many different feelings, and they're being projected in different places because a lot of times, what does the narcissist do? They do shit to people and then they leave, right? They rage at people and then they leave, and all that person is stuck with is all the times that person raged at them. They don't even see the good because they're just seeing the rage. And now you'll get to a point where you'll be depressed, you'll be at peace, and then you could have rage because you'll see, hey, people keep playing with me. People keep gang stalking me. People keep doing stuff for no reason at all. People don't even know how to talk to other people. Their voice, their tone of voice is very aggressive. Talking really loud, talking to you like you're their child, or talking to you like like you know them when you don't. They're a complete stranger. Hey babe, hey hun, hey sweetie, and you're just going through life and people are just doing and saying anything, and you realize a lot of people want to connect, but they can't connect. They know they're really not supposed to connect, even though they're supposed to connect, but they're not really supposed to. They know, people know, certain people know deep down inside that they have to be careful. Certain people don't. The people that don't, right? A lot of times you'll be around even empaths who are just not really self-aware about narcissists. They're just not strong enough. They're just not built yet, right? And they can do things and say things that they're moving like a narcissist. And you might let things slide multiple times. And then when you bring it up to their attention, they go run back and tell the narcissist, right? And if you get enraged or you stick up for yourself or something, that person is going to victimize themselves because they're an empath and they're not strong enough to stand up to the narcissist. They're the narcissist puppet. And you might even be warning them about what's coming to them, but they'll work so hard to take you out. And then when it happens to them, they're seeking empathy. So it'll put you in a position where you will feel rage because you'll see how people treat each other. You'll see how even empaths will be selfish. You realize that when you could have been selfish with your time and you could have been selfish and put your load on other people. You didn't. You probably was like, I'm going to have to go through this on my own. No one understands me. But you see that certain people don't do that. They just go to the next person. They're just living in fairy tale land forever. And then they come and mess with you thinking you're unaware of what's going on because they got some insight in the narcissist world and they're nothing but a puppet. So the rage, it will kick in because when people say and do things and they do it in a smart way, or they a lot of times you can't get wrapped up into people's worlds. First of all, let me put it like that. You can't get wrapped up into people's worlds. But it's when people say and do things for no reason, or they put you in a category based off of what they've experienced and what their perception of you is. So then they say things or do things or they talk in a certain way, and you know exactly what they're doing, you know exactly what they're looking for, or they won't take accountability and try to put things on you, and you'll watch them do it. And if you tell them, hey, don't put that on me, you know what I'm saying? Or, they'll say what they really wanted to say about you. They'll say their perception about you. And then that's how you know. You're like, I knew that was their perception because that's the energy they were giving me. And then they say something and now you respond, and the way they react to what you say, it's like the hairs on their arms will stand because they were waiting on an opportunity to say something, and then when they say something, it didn't go their way. You know what I'm saying? So now they'll take it up a notch. They'll keep taking it up a notch, and you don't even know why this person's doing it in the first place. You're like, what's wrong with this person? So in your mind, it's like, oh, it must be this, because you're not even living in your physical body. And that's another thing. Like, when you leave the matrix, when you leave the narcissist, you're like no longer living in, like you're living in your body, but your body just becomes a vessel. You know that your spirit, words can't explain. You know what I'm saying? I could sit here and talk to you guys about this, but words, you know what I'm saying? Words can't explain. This is just my way of translating my thoughts, but I don't even like to hear myself talk, but I wanted to talk about this because I did have one of these days today, right? For most part, I'm very peaceful, but today I had rage, like for no reason. And I also know that's something that everyone experiences. If you experience rage, it's because you've experienced pain. So even animals rage and fight one another, you know? But it's what you do when you feel it. It's being self-aware about it. Most people aren't self-aware. That's why they act the way they act, like narcissists. So that's part of the rage that I wanted to talk to you guys. That's why it's okay to have rage, but it's also good to be self-aware about it, because you won't make logic choices, or you will do things that you normally won't do, and that's because your frequency is low. So when you're in that frequency of rage, you got to be careful. You got to be careful who you're dealing with, talking to, because that energy is going to flow and find you, because you're in that frequency. And I think that's also the hardest part, because you don't want to feel like that, right? You don't want to feel like that. It's almost like, you know how like an autistic child might try to explain something to you, but because they can't explain it to you the way they want to, it'll agitate them, right? And they'll go into like rage, right? Sometimes, autistic kids do this. They go into stages of rage, but that's normal with every human being. It's just that you're going to see them tantrum to another level, right? And that's what happens when you're in rage. You almost don't know what to do with all the pain, all the rage. You might have been depressed for a while. You might have been, accepted everything. You went through the stages of healing, but you've accepted. You've came to acceptance, moving on, moving forward, right? Loving your life, being grateful, right? And all these things. But because everything is so unnatural, and because we never really know the future, and because we question ourselves, we question our experiences, rage will come, you know, things that we can't control, things that hurt us, things that you know we come to accept. That's where that rage will manifest from all the times the narcissist people in your life had you up and down, all the times they raged at you. Those things have decoded onto you, so it's like a disease. They almost transfer it to you. That's why when you meet them, you're not experiencing that rage, you're not experiencing that type of sadness where you're wondering why someone is cursing you out, calling you names, and you're really hurt about it. But you also know that rage makes you stronger. You also know that the rage helps you decipher through people's motives, meaning that you could tell when somebody is out to hunt you right away. You know what I'm saying? You could see things coming right away because of that rage, right? The thing is controlling the rage, because you could see things coming, and then when they come, you know what people are going to do? They're going to bark at you. They're going to call you names, right? And then you're going to think to yourself, the narcissist, they done called me every name in the book. The people I love disrespected me, and the people you love the most did these heinous things to you where you had to forgive them, right? You had to forgive that everyone's not perfect. You have to forgive that people are living different realities. So when you forgive and you accept these things, and now you come across people that might call you names, say things because they're angry, they're not in a good mood, they're grouchy, whatever the case is, right? When you experience these things, it's not even going to bother you because you've already been hurt by the people you love the most. So how can a stranger bother you? So when you barely leave the narcissist and you're healing, you'll go through the rage, but it'll be a different rage. It'll be a rage where when people mess with you, your frequency is so fragile that you'll live in your emotions. So you're not completely, even though you've accepted the reality, you haven't completely accepted the reality because your rage is almost misdirected. You don't even know where to put it at. You're in constant agony and it's like hell. You'll even get desperate and even reach out to the narcissist people in your life, hoping that they could ease the pain, and they won't, because they're like, I feel rage. Now you know how we feel. Now you know it's like a disease of people who just wanted you to feel how they felt, and they don't see nothing wrong once they move on because they're only worried about their happiness, right? So when you move on from these situations and certain things people say to you don't affect you no more, you realize I can't really worry about nothing but my own happiness, right? So you're like, okay, what makes me happy? So when you experience those moments of rage where people are trying to bring you down, you have to think about your happy place. What makes you happy? Who are you? Who are you? What is your peaceful place? In that peaceful place, do these people even exist? In that peaceful place, do what people say about me, does it matter? In this peaceful place, who are these people to me, right? So when when you go into that rage, you don't play, because you start to see how people played you. So now when people start playing you again, especially when it's the people from the past, right? The people that once you wake up, you start seeing like, this person's fake, that person fake, this person did this to me, I wasn't aware of it, this person probably did a hell of a load stuff on me. And when you come across those people or they reach out to you, they act like nothing, right? And in the back of your head, you're like, I'm not even the same person anymore. That person you think I was back then, that person don't even exist no more. And you guys been used to that person for a very long time. So they'll try to test you out. They'll say things. They'll reveal things to you because they know you woke up. So now remember when I did this? Remember when this happened? It was actually me. I just want to let you know, because they see a change in you. They see you woken up, and you might think, we're close and they told me these things and they might have evolved as well. But you'll see that a lot of times, if they were real narcissists, they're only accepting these things because they want to know more about you. They're just trying to read the new version of you. They're trying to compete with the new version of you. And they might not talk to you after that because they're just like, I just want to see what you were up to, right? So you'll experience rage because you'll see that people keep playing with you. You know what I'm saying? People keep playing with you, and then they'll reach out maybe a year, months later, or they might not even say anything the next time they see you in public or something. They just don't even, they act like we don't even got a pass. Like, they act like they're a ghost to you. And you're like, oh shit, they're a ghost to me. So my assumption about this person was right. They were trying to just get information about me and get close to me and see if they could use me again. And they realized they couldn't, but they still wanted to know more about who I am now, because they don't realize that, this person never changed, that they're still the same person, but they're more demonic, more than ever. But they know you're gonna see it, so the demons are basically gonna flee from you. So it'll give you rage because you'll feel like you're alone and you don't really got nobody, and you didn't really expect life or circumstances to be the way they are. And you'll start to see that a lot of people live in rage. When you go around certain people, a lot of people got their own story. A lot of people got things that they know they couldn't control, things they wish they would have done different. A lot of people will reveal things about being stuck in the past, or in past memories. Even people who have disabilities, or I've seen where they repeat things, and I'm like, why are they repeating that from freaking something that happened maybe in the 90s, right? And in my spirit will say something affected them at that time. That's why they keep because they don't know how to express themselves. That's why they're repeating these things, because something happened. So the rage, in a sense, is your superpower, because people can say and do things to you and it shouldn't affect you. And you shouldn't let it affect you, because if you let it affect you, it's not coming from a place of who you are, because you have peace, you have moments of rage, but it's the pain. You're also your superpower, because you shouldn't, if the people closest to you have hurt you, there's really not much other people can do to you. They could do a lot of things, but it won't hurt the same way. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you also feel like you won't love the same way, but that was never love. You know what I'm saying? That was, you will feel rage because of that, because you'll feel like you gave someone something and you won't be able to feel something like that, identical to that again. But the rage also helps you see that love isn't just love. Love also comes with rage. And a lot of people get into relationships and don't know a person's limit, don't know where does the rage come from, and don't even realize that they're dealing with someone that can't even take accountability for their past and their current actions, right? So the rage helps you see that it's not, love isn't just love, and love sometimes can turn into hate. What is hate? What happens when someone hates you? They show you rage. They turn into like animals. They want to fight you. So when you fight with someone, or you have a disagreement in a relationship, are you able to work through these things out? Are you able to go to sleep at night without still being mad about these things, right? Because you'll see animals, they go into rage, play fighting with each other, and then the next day they're in a better mood. The next day they might fight again, but nothing to where they're trying to destroy and kill each other. You know what I'm saying? So when a person is showing you rage and they don't want to they don't want to forgive you or be forgiven and change, that lets you know they're not ready to fix the reasons for their rage, and a lot of times they want to throw it at you like, oh, I'm going to be a different person with someone else. But the fact that they even did that in the first place lets you know that this person got issues, and that they're projecting onto other people, and then they keep using other people to make them feel good, and then they want to say that you're the codependent one, but you've had to deal with the rage all by yourself, where with them they're just hopping to the next person, or they're putting all that energy into someone around them to keep them with fuel. And a lot of times all that you can expect when that happens is for those people to burn each other's light off. The rest of that light that they got, they're going to burn it off quick. The narcissist is going to see that it wasn't what, people, just because it seems good, it doesn't mean they're going to get the same type of energy, the same type of feel. And a lot of times when you have that type of innocence like you had, yeah, there's other people that have that innocence, but a lot of people, the narcissist targets are different. Some people, the narcissist might think, oh, this person looks innocent. They have that innocence that you have. And that person's a complete monster. They've already been through many different things that they didn't probably lie to the narcissist about. Probably had other relationships, other heartbreaks. And it's not going to be the same experience as the experience you had with them. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times you have to think about this, and also, you also come to the point where you realize the narcissist people in your life getting their karma. You'll realize that even though a lot of them do get their karma, you also realize that it don't even make you happy. You know what I'm saying? It don't make you feel good. Sometimes you even feel bad that when they're getting their karma, because it be coming hard. You know what I'm saying? While you're just kind of chilling, and the rage usually really comes from the fact that, why did these people have to do this? Like, why they have to be like this? Why can't people get along? Like, all the things, why can't people take accountability? All these things, right? That's where the rage comes from. And eventually you realize, hey, I can't do nothing about people's actions. I can't be worried about why they did this, why they don't treat me this way, or you just realize it's irrelevant. You just got to keep moving. You got to keep going from one thing to the next. You just got to keep going. You just can't stop, because at the end of the day, they're going to hate you either way, and it's all meant. They don't want to see you happy. They want you to be in that spirit of rage. A lot of times you're at peace for the most part, but guess what? As soon as they see that rage, they assume that you're always in that rage all the time. You know what I'm saying? That's why when you don't feel good, you should be able to acknowledge that. You should be able to protect yourself from even other people. You know what I'm saying? Don't go around, because you don't feel good, and then go and tell people you don't feel good and make those people feel bad, or put bad energy around. You know what I'm saying? Just take a deep look. Think about what it is that's bothering you, or it might be just everything, and be okay with the frustration and learning ways to cope with it, doing things that can benefit you in a positive way. So I'm sending you guys lots of love, light, peace, and your healing. I hope that this video was helpful. If you guys want to book a session with me, you guys know my booking information is always on the description. If you guys are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment, and I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Love you guys. Bye.